here to beg you to stop being on your low carb diet. Just please go off your low carb diet. You are doing a lot of metabolic damage to your body and you're on the path to diabetes. So just please stop your low carb diet and try 80-10-10 and try being a high carb vegan. So I want to back my statement up with some science that people can understand and also is easy for people to access. So I'm going to cite a BBC documentary called Sugar versus Fat, and it's pretty great. You have to watch it. It's about twins. They took twins and they gave one twin a diet of a lot of protein, like meat and dairy and cheese and stuff like that, and then they gave the other diet another twin a diet of sugar, basically sugar and carbohydrate. The first diet was kind of like a paleo diet, and then the paleo or Atkins diet, and then the other diet is much like my diet, a vegan diet. I mean, he said that he could eat unlimited fruits and vegetables. So, I mean, I do try to stay away from refined sugar, but that's pretty much the diet I eat, is a high carb diet. And you'll see that actually the low carb twin ends up really messing up his health. Now, they did 3 tests to kind of find out who would fare better in just an everyday life type situations. Like, there are a lot of nutrition tests where people take I don't know, where they put people through very unnatural circumstances first and foremost. Then they give them kind of sketchy cognitive tests. You know, like the science behind a lot of the research out today is a bit iffy. And I find that this documentary, even though it's just really more of like an experiment, like for entertainment, is a lot more it explains a lot more about nutrition than a whole bunch of science that has been coming out for the past, however many years. So in the cognitive test, the doctor, it just says that your brain runs on glucose.
Glucose is the primary fuel of the brain and the best fuel for the brain. Since he's been on a low carbohydrate diet, almost eating no carbohydrates, his stores of glucose in the body are going to be very low. And therefore, I think as time goes on, he may be having more difficulty with the task.
And one science behind Atkins and paleo is that your brain is made of fat. Therefore, fat would make your brain work better. But you'll see that it actually doesn't make your brain work better because your brain doesn't run on fat. It's made of fat. And the high carb 80-10-10 vegan life is not 0 fat. It's 10% fat. And that's enough fat for your brain to function normally, and for your enough sugar, enough glycogen for your brain to burn and use for like cognitive functions. You can't run on fat and protein. You just can't. It's impossible. Your body won't do it. It doesn't matter who you are. Metabolically, we're all the same, and you just can't do it. Second, they do a physical test, which is just them biking up a hill after they haven't eaten for 12 hours. So their blood sugar is very low. So they bike for an hour, totally burn out all their blood sugar. And then the protein fat twin gets a stick of butter, and the other twin gets kind of a packet of sugar that they use for, actually athletes use these little sugar packets, sugary gel packets. And the other brother's blood sugar goes, it jumps up. I mean, like that. So the sugar brother's blood sugar jumps up, and he has all this energy to go up the hill, and he totally smashes the protein and fat brothers out of the race. And the protein and fat brother is actually feeling pretty sick and pretty horrible after doing that exercise. And I completely understand where he's coming from, because that's how I used to feel when I was going to the gym trying to be low carb. I felt horrible. Like I needed stimulants, as in coffee, just to get through the day. And that's not, I don't need those things anymore being on a high carb vegan lifestyle.
Completely deprived of glucose, our bodies have a dramatic way of making sugar. Protein, in the form of muscle, converts into amino acids, which are then turned into glucose, and that's pumped into the blood, raising blood sugar levels.
Another interesting part of the test was when they were given kind of the choice. Well, they first ate the same amount of calories for breakfast, and then they were given unlimited amounts of calories for lunch, and they wanted to measure who would eat more. And so I thought, because, you know, I'm a high carb, raw vegan, obviously the high carb guy's gonna eat fucking way more than the low carb guy, because fats don't, like, once you eat them, you don't really want them anymore. It's kind of like, bleh, like after you've had a certain amount, it's over. Like proteins and stuff like that, it makes you stop eating a lot faster. But does that mean that it's necessarily better for weight loss and better for health? No. When you are restricting your calories, when you're not eating that many calories, lowering your calories to lose weight, you're making your body run at a lower rate than if it could be burning all through like thousands of calories. Freely has been talking about this, Durian Rider's been talking about this, smashing the calories. Like, how it's pretty simple. You eat more, you burn more, your metabolism works faster. So yeah, that's it. And then we go on to the end, which is just the best part. What happens to the no sugar diet brother is that his insulin response is actually a lot more than the high sugar. And you would think, oh, like, I thought, because paleo people say this, and this is the science behind paleo and behind Atkins, low carb in general, and this is the dangerous bit that people have been telling that it's true, but it's actually just junk science that's untested, is that if you eat less sugar, then your blood sugar will be lower, and then you'll produce less insulin, and then you will gain less, you won't gain as much weight. And that's basically the science behind every low carb diet. And right there just proved it wrong. It's wrong. It's bad science. It all comes down to the fats. And Freely, Durian Rider, have been talking about this. The fats create kind of a layer blocking the sugar from leaving your bloodstream quickly. And so that your body has to go into overdrive producing more insulin, because your insulin, like the initial wave of insulin that it sent, didn't work. So it needs to keep sending more and more and more. And that's how you get diabetes. And the high fat twin ends up getting pre-diabetic.
So how serious is this? I mean, it's only a month. So is this a big difference that you're seeing?
Actually, it is a big difference. What we've seen is your blood glucose has climbed from 5.1, which it was before the diet, which wasn't great to start with, but still in a healthy range, to 5.9. Now, you're only 0.2 away from being pre-diabetic.
Wow. In a month, I've done myself some proper damage. Like, this isn't good for me at all.
It's not good for you. That's the first thing, actually. It's not good for you. You should stop that diet.
Like, he's done some damage to his body just after a month of giving up carbs. And the high carb twin, who ate unlimited sugar, refined sugar, did not do any long-term damage to his body. Nothing went wrong with him. The low carb twin ends up kind of losing a lot more weight. And like the weight, and his body ends up looking pretty good, actually. Like, he ends up you could see some like muscle definition, and it seems that he lost weight, more weight. And the other twin, I think, ended up losing weight as well, but when they measured exactly what type of weight it was, the low carb twin had lost more than 50% of that weight through muscle mass. His body burnt his muscles in order to survive. As they said in the earlier segment with the bike trainer dude, when your body isn't given the sugar to run on, it will take muscle. It won't take your low carb cup, like muffin or whatever. It won't take your steak or eggs. It's not, your body's not using that food. It's just not. It's using your muscles to burn. So yeah, you're gonna lose weight. Muscle mass. So those are the dangers of being low carb. Please get off the low carb diet. Go do some Googling on the 80-10-10 low fat, high carb lifestyle. You'll feel so much better. Go fruit yourself, smash in the carbs, vegan. Peace.